We have one of the best DJs in the United States out here representing West Philly. Joining me here on the show, 1994 DMC champ. You know him for being Janet Jackson's DJ, Kanye doing some work with him, Nas, DJing for everyone, even being an intern at Power 99 FM with Cosmic Kev back in the days. That's my jam on NBC. DJ Aktive is joining me here on the show here tonight. DJ Aktive, how's it going? Welcome to Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max.
Mad Max, how you doing, man? Thank you for having me. What's up, bro? Of course,
man. I appreciate it, man. Congratulations on all your accolades. You just told me that you're at the Grammy Awards. It's over now. How was your experience at the Grammys this year?
It was dope, man. I did a lot of after parties out here. I did a party actually for Silk Sonic. That was on Saturday night, and that was amazing. And Anderson .Paak came through. Bruno didn't show up, but Anderson .Paak was there. That was at On The Record. Friday night, we had a party at On The Record at Park MGM with Nas, me and DJ Mel Star. So, man, it's been a good time out here, man. I did a party for Snoop Dogg and the Avila Brothers. They got a new song with Billy Ray Cyrus. So it's been a blessing, man, to be out. Went to the Grammys last night. It was awesome. Nas killed it on stage. So it's happy to be here, brother.
That's big. Did you have any conversation with Nas? Because I know you've been wanting to get him on a track for possibly Chill Vibes Volume 1.
Yes. Yeah, I talked to Nas Saturday. I'm sorry. It was Friday night. I talked to him. He said he's down to do it. So look for that soon, coming up on this Chill Vibes Volume 1. And you would most likely definitely hear Nas on there.
That's big. I know you wanted to get him on the first album that you did, the tour in 2019.
The tour. Absolutely. Yeah. But, we working it out now, so it's going to get done.
You wanted Raekwon and Jadakiss on there, but it didn't happen. But you got Common on there because it was easier, because you had that connection already.
Exactly, from me working with Common. Shout outs to Raekwon. I still want to get Raekwon on this new project. But if not, it's all good, man. We got some dope people coming up. I can't announce everybody, so look out for the Chill Vibes Volume 1 coming out. This summer, July.
That's big. And salute to you for actually keeping it real with the hip hop and having some real hip hop heads on there, because that's what you like anyway, the 90s hip hop. You grew up on it and then spreading it with the 2000s hip hop and R&B scene.
Absolutely. I try to merge the two, like classic hip hop, but bring it like more current now, with the hip hop drums. So
the 808s. That's all that's all the hip hop artists like today, are just the 808s.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the SQ12 from back in the day. That part.
Throwback. That's the real hip hop right there. Just getting into the more of your history of growing up in West Philly. How was your life experience of growing up in West Philly? I did my research. We're going to get into your father and cousin in a second, but how was it growing up in West Philly?
It was kind of rough growing up in West Philly. It was a lot of, there's a lot of shootings and stuff like that, killings. But overall, it kind of shaped me to the person I am now. I try to stay out the way. I ain't try to get into too much trouble. I was really into the music when I was young. A lot of my cousins, they was DJs, DJ Ghetto, shout out to Ghetto, Evil Tracy, Chris, Swift, Doodles, Like I came up underneath them, watching them, and Jazzy Jeff being from around the way, Cash Money, me seeing them at block parties as a kid. So that kind of influenced me to want to DJ, man. So, that was my life growing up in West Philadelphia. I just see Will Smith. I just see all of them up Overbrook. I was like 7, 8 years old. So
amazing. Do you remember the first time that you met Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff? Because Jazzy Jeff was someone that really helped you out in your career early on too.
Yeah, actually, you know what? The first time I met Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff was actually on my block, Chancellor Street. Actually, across the street, I used to hang with this guy by the name of DeRee. And I used to be out there, playing my music and breakdancing and stuff. And I used to see Will and Jeff across the street all the time, And then I met him back in the day. I was young with an actor by the name of comedian Sinbad. And then from there, me and Jeff kind of stayed cool. I started getting to DMC battles like that. And we kind of reconnected in 99 and DMC regionals in Philadelphia. And from there, we just stayed cool, man. So he kind of definitely helped me out in my career, keeping me grounded, So he's been knowing me since I was young. So shout out to Jeff.
Being from Philly and Will Smith being one of your heroes right now, I had a conversation with my son, and we're not going to get too much into politics of things because I know you don't want to get into that, but just your reaction to Will Smith having to resign from the Oscars, because I don't agree with it. Compared to you have Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen, all these other people out here that haven't been kicked out of the Academy or resigned. What are your thoughts on Will Smith just for one bad thing that I mean, people call it violent. You can call it an act of violence. I think it's a stretch. People are overreacting. I get it. But what is your reaction to Will Smith having to resign from the Academy?
I mean, I honestly don't want to get into that part. You know, I know he was taking up for his wife with that situation. I mean, I feel as though um, maybe that probably was the best thing, you know, to resign. You know, but you know, shout outs to Will. You know, what I mean, he's still West Philly. He's still, you know, family. You know, what I'm saying, I wish it would have went different. You know, but things happen, man. You know, so shout out to Chris Rock as well.
Shout out to them. Hopefully everything gets resolved here, and
Yeah,
eventually Will Smith is
yeah,
accepted back into these events at the Academy. If not, it's their loss.
absolutely. Yeah.
But your father was a DJ. He was teaching you at a young age. Do you remember what you were spinning on? What it was exactly? Was it the techniques?
Dog, I wasn't even know. They was techniques, but they was like, man, you know what? It was like some Gemini DD12s. Like if you were a DJ, you know what that is. Like I was messing with them with him. You know, he had the wheel to wheel and shit. And he also had, you know, the DJ set up in the basement. He was my mom used to be fucking throwing house parties and you know, he'd be downstairs dancing. I mean, DJing, not dancing, DJing and shit. So seeing that, seeing him, you know, and my mom was a record collector, that kind of influenced me and that made me want to. I was so fascinated with the record player. You know, I'll sneak downstairs in the basement and mess his records up, scratching the stuff up, get in trouble. But yeah.
Your cousin you mentioned before, DJ Ghetto, was also an influence in your career of DJing. And your father actually early on, he didn't think that you should be a DJ. He's like, you got to go to school and be a doctor.
Correct. Yeah, he wanted me to be some type of doctor, and I just was like, you know, I understand what you're saying, but you know, he wasn't really feeling the whole me being a DJ or just being in music if you wasn't really using an instrument. At the time, like playing piano, they had me in piano lessons, but that just wasn't working out for me, you know. So yeah, he was definitely against it. But my cousin was actually doing good at that time. Like in the early 90s, he was DJing for Wu-Tang. He was in the DMC battle. He won in 94 East Coast Finals. You know what I mean? He made it to 95. RIP to Rock Raider, him and Rock Raider battle. You know what I'm saying? So he was really doing his thing. And then from there, that kind of influenced me to like, oh man, this had really worked out a little bit, you know? And he was doing radio. So I seen that and he kind of made me more influenced, you know, I was more influenced by Ghetto.
That's right. Just thinking about it, when you were getting a little older, you were in middle school. That's when you received your name DJ Active from a young lady in middle school, because you were active, you were playing sports, and you were just learning how to DJ at that time. And they said, I'm going to call you Active. And you became DJ Active from that moment.
Yeah, man. At that moment, you know, I was like in like eighth grade or some seventh, eighth grade. And I was playing ball and, you know, I was doing a lot of sports, football, basketball, and they kept calling me Active because I was always running around and moving around. Like, yeah, we're gonna call you Active. And then they had like a school event, and I actually they had me DJ. So they're like, we're gonna call you DJ Active, and then it just stuck. So I just kept it. People was writing it on the walls and the posters and the school and stuff. So I was like, all right, I was gonna roll with it.
And that's basically history from there. Do you remember receiving your first pair of turntables?
Yeah, actually, my real turntables I got when I was at the age of 12. My father bought me some Technique 1210s. They're like the London edition. So they were black, and they was my first real turntables. Before then, I had other turntables like some Geminis and some old school techniques, but they wasn't the joints. The joints, if you had a 1200 back then, that's like, yo, you got the shit. So, you know, my grades was up, and I said, if I get these grades on some A, B, can you please bless me with these tables? And he got them for me. So I was like the only motherfucker in school with the goddamn turntable.
And you were the go-to guy at parties, especially in high school.
Yeah, it was me and a couple other cats, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Ant Live. He was another one. My man DJ King Miles, he was another DJ. So we came collectively and had a squad, and he was the one that's doing all the house parties in the city.
That's big. And just think about it when you went off to college too, because you had your time in college. That's when you began your tenure as an intern on Power 99 FM with
Power
DJ
99, yup.
Yep, Power 99 Cosmic Kev.
Yeah, so I was doing an intern. At that time, I was going to community college in Philadelphia, and I was an intern up at Power 99. Kevin had me come in at night, and do his come up show. Shout out to Cosmic Kev, and from there, I was getting exposure from, different people in the city that was movers and shakers that can help in my career, such as Jay Irvin. That's Dr. J's son. He had a game called Corey Irvin games in Philly, in West Philly, and he used to have like Fat Joe, Ja Rule, Jada Kiss. They also come down to Philly and play ball. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be crazy down there. He had me a DJ, and I wasn't even making that much money. I probably making like $50. We had the game, but from there, I met a cat named Michael McGarthy. He was working at Def Jam at the time, and he had a new artist by the name of Musiq Soulchild. And that's how I got down with music, from Cosmic Kev to Jay Irvin to to Michael McGarthy, which is my manager now. And, that's how I got the Musiq Soulchild. That's my first tour, and then that's when it just started going from there.
In 2000, and you wanted to bring breakbeats to R&B.
Absolutely, yeah. That was the whole thing. Basically bringing, because I didn't understand what I was doing, what was my assignment at the time. And Mike was like, yo, what we want you to do is, I'm like, damn, I'm working with an R&B artist. I'm coming from battling and shit. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. He was like, yo, I need you to bring like some Gangstar, play some DeWitt, play some James Brown break beats, and, put it over like one of the music songs. So I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying. So we rehearsed, and, we did a lot of hip hop, bringing Top Villain, I'm saying, about Audio 2, adding that in with music songs, man, to give them more of a hip hop feel.
And you did that. You were making your own way in this industry. From there, you get to move on. Did you see yourself, because once you were intern at Power 99, did you see yourself, because I don't think so. You didn't believe in keeping yourself boxed in. You saw yourself as just all these opportunities out here in the world. I'm going to take advantage of it, because most time DJs just want to be the hottest DJ in the city and box themselves in the radio. And I don't think you wanted to do that. So is there something that you saw once you got involved with radio that you wanted to just branch out from there?
No, I honestly wanted to be on radio. Like, I was because I didn't know nothing about, I didn't think I could ever be on a tour with no artists. That never came in my mind. I was so stuck on just doing battles, and then from there getting on radio. Like, yeah, I'm on radio. Like, everybody can hear me in the city, in the tri-state. So I was so excited about that. That was big for me. And then when I got introduced to the touring world, I'm just like, well, wait a minute. You can get paid to DJ, and, they pay for travel, and I get to see the world. Oh yeah, this is different right here. So I was like, oh no, I think I want to do this. I didn't know nothing about it. So
that mindset changed right there from there as soon as you're exposed to the touring world.
Yeah, man. As soon as I got exposed, I just was like, it was probably no turning back from there. Then that's, and I started doing radio. Shout out to Mike Mack. He still had me doing radio, but not like regular radio. I was doing XM at that time, like in 2004 and 5. But it was kind of hard at that time to keep the mixes going and then traveling. So it was like
hard to balance out both.
Yeah, I had to choose one of the two, and I just was like, I think I'm gonna stick with this touring stuff. So
2004 I think that's right when Sirius XM came on the scene, when it really exploded, because Howard Stern got that deal. He had all these huge radio hosts signing their contracts with XM. So you remember that beginning of XM satellite
Absolutely.
radio.
That was XM, not even Sirius. It was just XM at that time. Yeah, and I had a show on. It was called the 360 Show, Channel 62. Wow. Yep, at 10 o'clock at night, 10 to 12. 2005 to be exact. Yup.
That's history right there. People always got to explore the history of radio, and that you're at the beginning of that, because you remember being early on there at XM before it was even serious.
Thank you, brother.
Huge.
You know a lot about me.
Yeah, man. I did my research. I did my research on you and your guests, and we're gonna get into these tours that you've been on, because you've been on quite a few. But Common was a great friend of yours. He still is a great friend of yours. You've been on tour with him for a while. That actually led you to your tour with Janet Jackson, because he reposted you. Jermaine Dupri posted you, and once the people on Instagram caught wind of it, Janet Jackson's music director saw that what you did in mixing up the Billie Jean, Michael Jackson record in your set. And she said, I need a DJ. So she checked out all your videos on YouTube. And that's when she said, I want you. And you got a call from someone in Janet Jackson's camp. And you didn't even believe it at first. You actually hung up on the person that called you, because there was like, there's no way Janet Jackson wants me to be their DJ.
Shout out to my brother. Yes. Adam Blackstone. Yeah, man. He called me. He's like, yo, I called you last night. I was like, all right, I wasn't really paying no attention. Like, no, she seen your stuff and you seen it on Instagram. You did the Billie Jean thing, Common posted up. We was in rehearsal and Jermaine reposted it apparently, and then she seen it. And he called me. He was like, yo, she wants you to come out and do an audition. And then did the audition. I went out there probably with like a book bag and wound up staying in LA for like 3 months.
It was the whole summer, right?
The whole summer we rehearsed for the Unbreakable Tour 2015. Yep.
Wow. Did you get to do any tours or concerts with her where J. Cole came out to perform No Sleep with her?
Yeah, he never came out to do
never
No Sleep
came out.
One
wow.
of the shows. But, we had him on the screen in the back, but he never physically came out. And that's when I started with her. That album, No Sleep, it's called Unbreakable. And yeah, we always wanted him to come out, you know what I'm saying? Because I actually started working with him too. I'm like, yo, Cole, it'd be dope you come out to the joint. He's like, man, I would love to, but it never happened. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
J. Cole, one of the realists in this generation as far as putting on for hip hop, keeping it alive. And I think hip hop is doing well nowadays because you have the emergence of the Griselda guys.
I love Griselda, yo. Them dudes, Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun, Conway, salute to them. The whole Buffalo, they keeping that thing. They like the new Wu-Tang / Locks to me right now. That's how I look at them dudes.
Fat Joe describes them, if Wu-Tang and the Locks had a baby, it would be Griselda.
He's right. You
got to get them on your album too.
Yeah. I got to tap in with some people that I know that know Benny and them. I'm definitely a West Side Gun fan. I like West Side. Do.
Classic. He's dropping some new classics out here for hip hop. And Janet Jackson, when you started DJing for her, I remember there was this one set that you were getting ready for, and you were playing a little bit too much Michael Jackson. She called you up into her room and she was like, "Hey, you're playing a little bit too much Michael Jackson." She wanted you to give more exposure to her records and the whole family.
Absolutely. Yeah. So she just was like, my management actually called and was like, hey, just want to lighten up a little bit on the Michael joints, because there's other brothers and sisters in the family, Snoop, the whole family, all amazing. And, to play some of them. My actual job was to remix Janet songs that wasn't in the show. So she wanted me to take them and flip them with new hip hop songs that was hot at the time. So let's say it was one joint me and my
I think you did Runaway, right?
Did Runaway, and then we did a joint. We did the Cardi B. Well, what have you done for me lately? Actually, Cardi B, shout out to Cardi B. She posted it up. It went viral like crazy of Janet Jackson performing What Have You Done With Me Lately over Cardi B, Bodak Yellow. And, that was a remix that, an idea I came up with and did. So it was love.
I remember hearing the story of when she tapped you on your shoulder or she was behind you. You turned around, you were nervous because she was right there. And you're like, this is Janet Jackson.
Oh, yeah, man. At rehearsals, I didn't see her, This is the first time we meet her. And then she tagged me, she said, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, snap. This is Janet Jackson. Like, wow, like crazy, man. So, it was a blessing to even be in her presence and to actually spin for her and her to believe in me, a person from Philadelphia, to get that opportunity. And, I always, shout out my brother, Adam Blackstone, for believing me and bringing me in on that too. So, he was a music director at the time. Yep.
Monumental for you. What song, when you were performing with her on tour, were you looking to play for her most as her DJ?
God Still Is Gone. The part they be like, on and on want to sing to go, but you don't know what you got to miss. If the dawn is out, and to do that live, the Joni Mitchell part.
I know
So I
what
was
you said,
cutting that live. Actually, Joni Mitchell never lied. If you're on and on. So, you know, we had to do that and stay in key with the band. So that was like a main one I was doing in this show with the band.
That's legendary for you, and the fact that you were able to do that and to just keep building from there, because Puff Daddy saw you in the crowd at one of the shows, and that's how you got connected with Puff Daddy and getting you on the Bad Boy reunion tour.
Yeah, man. So that was a blessing there too, you know. And actually, my guy who was the music director at the time for Janet was actually starting to do Puff, and I got the call to go out there, and I was at Puff House actually for like 2 weeks.
Doing the auditions for him in his living room,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I just he ain't know me, so he wanted me. He said, "I'm gonna see what you gonna play." So he had me in his living room dancing while I'm playing music, like for like 4 or 5 hours. He wanted to see what songs I knew and all that. Yeah, I mean, from classics to slow jams to his joint songs that's going to possibly be in the show that the artist, you know, artists he was having in the show. And I mean, you know, it was cool, man. We worked it out, and then I was released from his house to go back to the rehearsal, and we was at rehearsal with the rest of the band. He's like, "All right, you can go now." I said, "All right."
Now, what is he like a visionary standpoint? Because you always hear about Puff. He always has this vision. He's always envisioned himself. And I think you even had his experience because he wanted you to play it a certain way, just because he gave you that stern faces he gives, because he always envisions himself at a party or in the club or at a concert, and the performance factor of it.
I mean, Puff to me, he's very intelligent. He knows how to rock a party, I would say. So his whole thing was like, yo, you got to set the vibe. You got to set the tone. You know what I mean? You ain't got to come out hitting them with all the, you can start the party off with some slow songs and just start building them up. So that's how he had me do opening up at the Bad Boy show before we started the show, the actual show. He'll have me start, you know, warming up. And he's like, yo, you can play some Barry White. You can play some this and that. So I'm like, to build up to me playing like a Biggie record to get people super excited that the show was about to start. So, you know, I definitely learned the building part from him.
That's great. And it's just always amazing to hear about Puff stories, especially your experience with them, because then you get all these other experiences too with Nas and Khalees, because you were doing some DJ work for Khalees, and then you got to work with Nas and DJing some shows for him. And Nas is your favorite rapper. We already mentioned you already talked to him this past weekend about getting on a record with him for the upcoming Chill Vibes Volume 1, and I'm looking forward to that. But Nas, why is Nas your favorite rapper of all time? I'm curious, being from Philly. Why is Nas your favorite rapper?
I gotta split it up. It's him and Biggie. I think his punchlines, you know what I'm saying? The metaphors, the punchlines, and his swiftness, the way he raps. You know what I'm saying? I always like the way Nas rode the beat. And if I was cutting something, one of his verses, it'll make sense in some of my DJ battles. So I've always been a fan of Nas, you know what I'm saying? We always been like real live Nas fans. And then on top of that, I also was a Notorious B.I.G. fan, a heavy one, you know? And yeah, man. So I will say Nas, he always been like one of my favorites, you know what I mean?
It's a shame that we never got that Nas and Biggie collaboration.
Nah, that joint would have probably been crazy, bro. I was looking forward to that when I was a little bit younger.
Apparently Nas walked out of that, and that's why Kicking the Door happened.
Yeah. I heard that. I don't know how real that is, but I did hear something like that on the internet. Yeah.
Insane. It's imagine if it would have been another one of those legendary collaborations, Brooklyn's finest, like with Biggie and Jay-Z.
Yeah, that was my shit right there. That was some legendary. Jay-Z and Big on the same track. 96, Brooklyn finest, 2 Brooklyn heavyweights. That joint is crazy.
Jay-Z's,
another one of my favorite rappers too, before they cut you off, from Philly is Siegel, Beanie Siegel.
Beanie Siegel.
You know, so, yeah.
He did a verse for you.
Yeah. The Eights, him and Capone from, you know,
Capone
the legendary
Noriega.
Capone and Noriega. Yup. They was on the project, the tour.
The War Report.
The War Report, yeah.
Classic
Legendary.
duo. That's real hip hop right there. But Jay-Z is someone that you want to work with that you haven't yet. Hopefully, if he gets back on a tour and he starts working out here, you want to get on tour with him.
Yeah, I mean, not even just to get on
just
tour.
One performance.
Yeah, just like a performance, or, you know, just something with him I haven't done. I mean, I did. by default because I was the DJ on the Bad Boy tour. So Puff brought him out, and I had to play the track with the band, but I haven't. Whereas those just me and him, you know, back and forth. Like, nah, I never did that yet. Nah.
No. But Nas, what was interesting just hearing about the story is that when he called you out on one of the performances because you didn't know the words of a song from Stillmatic.
Yeah. It was one of the songs that Stillmatic. He was like, yo, you don't know that, John. You know what I'm saying? And that was cool because we didn't really rehearse. So it was just like, yo, we got a show coming up. You know, I was working with Khalees at the time. It was like, yo, I got this show that just popped up. You know, I would like to get you to come out with me. Boom. Went out there to do the joint. I was already like, all right, bet I'm DJing for Nas now. Through at the time was his wife, Khalees. And I forgot what song it was up Stillmatic, but I didn't know all the ad-libs, the punchline, like the ad-libs. So it was kind of like, oh, you don't know that, Joe. Let's go to the next one.
What was it?
So
got yourself a gun?
I can't remember what song it was. It wasn't Got Yourself a Gun. But I know after that we went to like Made You Look or something. I knew that one. So
off of God's
cool.
Son.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Nostradamus gets too much criticism that isn't deserved? Because I think there's some great songs on there. You got Project Window with Ronald Isley on there.
Man, Nostradamus is one of my favorite albums on the time.
Because people give that album so much hate.
That joint wasn't that bad. That joint with Aaliyah, You Won't See Me Tonight.
Oh, that was off I Am. That was off I Am.
That was off I Am. I'm sorry, that was off
I Am's another great album that isn't brought up. That's always slept on because you got DMX on there too. Scarface, Favor for a Favor.
That came out in '99, right? I Am. He had so many albums. Yeah. Nostradamus was cool. I like Nostradamus. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Classic records. People got to praise these more. Everyone always remembers Nas for Illmatic, but to me, his best album was It Was Written.
It Was Written. It Was Written was his best. At first, I was with Illmatic, but now, as I start getting older, I'm like, nah, It Was Written. Like, you gave me power. It's crazy. Yeah, like, it's crazy. The message, come on.
Man, Taken in Blood.
Taken in Blood? Come on.
Street Dreams.
There's nothing but a bunch of heat on it.
Classic. Suspect. These are the deep cuts that only the DJs know about and the real hip hop.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you banging in your car. They the joints you was banging in your car back in the day. Like, all right.
Affirmative action.
You know all the joint. You a DJ, so you know.
Classic. It's all classic records, man. 100%. But when Nas gave you that call, did you know that it was Nas right away? I just want to know what it's like to get a call from like one of those legendary rappers out in the blue.
Man, I was in the car downtown Philly. And he was like, "Yo, I gotta." It just a New York number came up. It was like, "Yo, this Nas." I'm like, "Oh shit." Like, yo, I got a show coming. I like what you did with Khalees over in Italy. And I'd like for you to come out. We was over there in Milan. She did something for, I forgot the name of this clothing company, but she did something over there and I was there. And then, he called me like that following week. And then me actually have been tight ever since. Like, I always kept a relationship with him, his management team. They all still cool. I just seen everybody this weekend. So, they like family to me.
And it's just gonna further the bond even more once you drop that song together. He does that verse for you. That's history for you.
If I get this verse from this young fella, that'll be amazing.
Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreaks tour. Another one that you did. You worked with Kanye on that tour for 3 years, and we all heard the story before of him coming up to you and being, "What's good with the scratches on Get Down, Get Down, Get Down with Gold Digger."
Yup. That was all good. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, "Yo, I needed to sound like A-Track." Shout out to my man DJ A-Track. He's like, "Y'all needed to sound like the record." You know what I mean? Which I get, and I was actually adding my little thing in there, getting a little Philly little touch on there. And he just was like, nah, you gotta do it, just like the album. And I respect that because that's, it supposed to sound like the record. Now that I'm older, back then I still was in like battle mode. So it's like, let me just get my little
DMC mode.
Get down. But that's not it. It's all about playing the record, how people hear it. So, and that's with bands too. So, yeah.
Man, I mean, despite everything that's happened, that's been great in your career. You've had some awkward moments where artists have come up to you. How do you recover right away in that situation mentally? Because sometimes people would break in a situation like that.
No, I mean, you just do better. You know
That's
what I'm
it.
saying? I mean, that was the early stages. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to tell people, like, this how it really was. They don't need to hear all the good. You need to hear the bad. And, like, you know what I'm saying? That makes you a better music director, producer, DJ. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta know that you ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? So, but that ain't happening now. We ain't doing none of that now.
No. Then after the Kanye tour, you're still good with Kanye. You saw him a couple years ago, I believe.
Yeah, that's yeah. Kanye is solid, man. That's my man. I saw him at the Sunday service. You know, I've seen him a few times, a couple times out on with being with Raj Common at the time. He came on a couple shows. So yeah.
Got to get on another, maybe down to 2 performance if that ever drops.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
After the Kanye tour, you went and started doing some work with Tyga. Was this for Careless World or Hotel California?
This was Careless World.
Careless World. So this is like when Tyga was popping.
It was popping. This is the hottest. So I'm gonna tell you what we did. Me and Drama put out this mixtape. It's called Well Done Part 1.
That's on Dat Piff and Spinrilla.
Exactly. And that joint went berserk. Like it went like platinum in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, it like crashed the internet. Everybody downloaded on datpiff.com. And that's when I was touring with him, you know, and that actually mixtape me and Drama did took us around the world. Like it took me and Tyga around the world, man. It actually put us on the opening up thing. It was the Dreams and Nightmare tour for Drake in 2010. In 2011, we was all overseas just off that mixtape alone.
Insane. And Tyga's another one who doesn't get his praise because of all the drama with the Kardashians, and everyone just overshadows him with the public eye. But Tyga can rap.
Mix all that. Tyga can rap. Michael Stevenson, you can rap. I'm gonna hit your government out here. Yeah. Tyga on the rap side, he a real hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? So he can rap. So shout out to Tyga. You know what I'm saying? That was a good time between 2010 and 2012. To me, I think that's when he was at his height of his career.
Absolutely. And people don't give him his praise, but we're here to do that for him here tonight because those 2 albums, Careless World and even Well Done mixtape that you just mentioned right there, you got a couple of the Well Done ones. And Tyga's got some classics right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he did like Well Done 4, but I did Well Done 1, his first.
That's right.
Me and Drummer, yep.
That's right. Just thinking about, you mentioned Drake before. Was this Amen for the Dream Chasers tour? Drake came out and did Amen?
Nah, was it Dream? Not Dream Chasers. I think it was called Dreams and Nightmares. I forgot what tour it was. It was a tour. No, this wasn't Meek's tour.
This was Tyga's.
No. This is Drake's tour. Lights and Dreams or something like that, or Dreams and Lights. This was in 2010, and Tyga.
It might have been right around the Thank Me Later drop.
Yes, because J. Cole came out as a guest a couple times, but I was with Tyga opening up for him. It was an arena tour, and that tour was crazy, man.
I'm not surprised because that 2000 era was a special time because you had these new guys. If you think about it, that's when the next line of superstars came out.
Yes. 2010 and 11, it got crazy.
I wish I could go back to that era because we don't get superstars like that as much anymore. And it was great music.
It was great music. Yeah, it was still hip hop, and it was still like, it was fresh and it was new.
Being that you're from Philly and in the Philly scene in hip hop, do you remember when you started to hear about Meek Mill, when he started to get that buzz?
Absolutely. Shout outs to Meek. Meek was already hot in like 2006, 7, he was hot in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like DJs was blasting Meek. Shout outs to DJ Marty G's, DJ Dells, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Charlie Mack. I was hearing his music way early, and I know Meek, so I was playing his joints in the club, Flamers Part 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying? That's when he was down with T.I. and them, and he was hot as fish grease in Philly, like hot. And he was a battle rapper, so, I started hearing about him early, and then he just took off, man. By 2011, he was out of here. 10, he was gone.
It's still going. He's one of the greatest to
Yeah.
ever do it from Philly. You had to do some.
Shout
You got
outs
to
to
do some
me.
shows for him being from Philly.
No. I mean, he came to a lot of parties I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and stuff like that. But I never did like no songs for Meek. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gotta get Meek on one of the projects. But he always been, you know what I mean, solid with me. You know, me being a DJ from around Philly and working with Tiger at the time. You know what I'm saying? And working with different artists. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's hometown. Yup.
You've been doing a lot, man. Besides, I think I know your favorite tour. Your favorite tour has been the Janet Jackson one. But what do you think has impacted your career the most and made you a better DJ?
I will say working with, because it's not just, I mean, I look at it like being two styles of DJ. You got a party DJ, you know, and then you got musician style DJing. Me being out with Janet Jackson, I learned more of musician style DJ. That's, for one, you can't just be playing a record or you're cutting a sample or something if you're not in key. So I know you got to always keep in key with the artist, especially an R&B artist or a pop artist, because they're singing. So I learned that, you know, that would kind of make me, I would think maybe a better DJ for me, you know, musician style, working with bands, and they talking about, come in right here, pull out right here. We wearing in-ears, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm wearing a headphone doing none of that. It's like how I am right now, you know, my AirPods in, but it's like in-ears, and, you know, and knowing when to come in and when to come out, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Janet Jackson was the first performance, like as far as learning how to DJ with a band. Was that the first time you really had to get acclimated with a band before? Or there was some prior experience.
No. Prior experience,
There's some
like
prior
working
experience.
with working with Queen Latifah, working with Alicia Keys, working with Musiq Soulchild. That's when it really started, like working with a band. But I'm talking about on a level where as though you have a click in your ear. You know what I'm saying? So it's like keeping the time and you staying on this time and never getting off the time. I don't care if it's like this. If you cut, you got to cut right on that time and you can't get off because they'll throw the rest of the band off. So that's when it was like, okay, this is a different level for me just using monitors on the floor and I'm just hearing the beat or hearing the band playing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
the tour 2019, this is an album, compilation album that you dropped and executive produced. You started getting on there and you're your own DJ Khaled. You're DJ Aktive right now. You got your own album going. You're actually making some real hip hop tracks. What was the inspiration behind this whole album, the tour?
I was working on it, man, probably for like 4 years, yo. You know, I always wanted to put out my own little project, and I always wanted to have a project where it's scratching involved in it, not just production. Shout out to my brother Ivan, you know, who produced with me on the past project, the tour. But I also wanted to add that premiere vibe to it, like a current premiere vibe. Shout out to Premiere, you know, adding cuts on every song.
The new style premieres, but even on the new Gangstar album, he still got it.
He still got it. Like that just is incredible to me. So I always say that, you know, if I ever put out a project or a mixtape, I always want to have that DJ part in it, you know, like cutting and mixing and scratching and phrases, and that's what I try to do on the tour.
Have you thought about making a tour too? I know you got the Chill Vibes Volume 1 coming out. Have you thought about doing a tour too?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to do a tour too. Absolutely. I'm gonna get this Chill Vibes out the way. It's more like a chill thing. It's a new song out right now, featuring Marsha Ambrosius, my man Kenyon Dixon. And that's called Cool. We did like the Diggable Planets joint over.
I
You know
heard
what I
that.
mean? So yeah. So it's more like an R&B side of thing. Tour is a little bit more harder. You got PD Crack, Beanie Siegel on there, Jalo Beach, you did Capone, you know. So I mean, you had a stale music, but you know, it's more the hip hop driven, a little bit more harder. So
Mob Ties is a hard song.
Mob Ties, Young Chris, the Young Guns, shout outs to them. They was on that joint.
Young Chris from House Party with Meek Mill.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. You know, the Rockefeller artists. Yeah.
You already know. I know you already know, but I want to get into the experience because you wanted to bring all these Philly artists out to perform. And not just artists from Philly, but you just want to get artists to perform out there. on your platform that you want to create called The Experience.
Yeah, man. We did a thing called the Dat Fest, actually. The Dat Fest Experience. It was a festival I threw in 2018 and came back with it in 19. And I had people from on the tour perform. I had Miss Jade. I had PD Crack, Freeway, Estelle, Brave from Baltimore. A couple other cats was on there too. But yeah, it was cool, man. And we did a DJ festival, had a couple DJs on there rocking. So it was nice.
The Philadelphia DJ School. I know that's something that you want to open. You've been working on getting that open to help the youth out there learn how to DJ, teach them their hip hop history, because you do get some teaching in yourself of going out to Jersey and teaching at Roland College, teaching them the hip hop history and how to DJ.
Yeah. So it's at Rowan College, it's like for upcoming producers and musicians and cats that want to get into hip hop and then learn about DJing. And then I'm showing them, the basics, where it comes from, and, who started it, and the basic of a transform scratch to mixing, beats per minute, So it's cool. It's cool, man. Yeah.
Are you surprised about the youth and not knowing as much as they should when it comes to the hip hop history?
I'm gonna say no. No, I mean, because it's a lot of kids and younger that do know. Like, if I ask them a question, say, "Yo, where did hip hop start?" They know it started in New York and the Bronx. So I'm like, all right, bet. They know, some of the early DJs, Kool Herc. They know who Funk Master Flex. I mean, not Funk Master Flex, I'm sorry. Grandmaster Flash is, you know what I'm saying? They know who Busy B is. So it's like, all right, y'all did y'all homework, you know what I'm saying? So I can't say they don't know. They know about graffiti. They know about breakdancing, you know what I'm saying? So they ain't stupid now. Don't get it twisted. They know. Especially the ones that I've been dealing with in college, they know what's going on. And like some younger DJs I be knowing, that's not even in college, they be knowing what's up. Like my son, he DJs and he's been knowing about the elements. I mean, not just because of me, because he likes 90 music. He likes 90 hip hop. So he knows.
You were also bringing him out to your shows. The Tiger Show, you brought your son out too.
Yeah, he was a little man then. Yeah, he be DJing now though, but he was a little guy then. Yeah, I'd have him out with me. That's crazy. You seen that? Yeah, DJ
following in his father's footsteps and being a DJ.
Yeah, he produced too. Yeah,
that's big. He's got the MPC and the Akai and all that already.
He does everything on Ableton.
Mm-hmm. NBC's That's My Jam with Jimmy Fallon. This is another experience that you've been able to have and be a part of that show. And I just heard that it was renewed for season 2.
Yeah. It definitely was, man. You know what I'm saying? We be going to rehearsals in June, and then look out for the new show, man. It's like 10 episodes.
How was it working with Jimmy Fallon so far and getting connected and plugged into that show?
He's cool, man. He's awesome. He's a hip hop head. He's a 90 hip hop head. He knows all the classics. So, shout out to Jimmy Fallon, because Jimmy knows his music. He knows, and he's a great person to work with. I had a good time working with him. I'm thankful, that the team brought me in and believed in me to do it. So I look forward to the next seasons. Yeah.
He's always showing love to Philly, bringing out Black Thought at his shows. He's always showing Philly talent.
Yeah, Questlove, Black Thought. They actually opened the door up. You know what I mean? Shout out to the whole Roots crew. Speaking of Thought, I'm about to see him on this Wednesday coming. He has it's called School of Thoughts. So I'm one of the DJs there for his thing in New York at Carnegie Hall. So I will be seeing Thought this Wednesday in New York City. Yep.
That's great. And I'm just looking forward to everything that you have coming up here. What's something else that you want to achieve in your career that you haven't so far, because you've done a lot?
You know what, man? Like I told you, I mean, I want to open up a DJ school, and I also want to open up like a DJ. I actually open my own lounge and bring a lot of my DJ friends in from all over that I have relationships with, and had them come spend in Philly. So that's what I'm trying to do now. Yep.
And I'm sure it'll happen as long as because you're putting your mind to everything out here. And as soon as you do that, we know what happens because we've seen it already.
Much love, man. I appreciate you.
Or anything else, man? Is that it? I think that's pretty much it. We covered everything.
Yeah, man. That's it, man. I appreciate you bringing me on, Matt. You know what I'm saying? This is love.
I appreciate it, man. You're always welcome. Anytime you need any promo, when you got your upcoming album, Chill Vibes Volume 1, you want to come on and talk about it, you're always welcome on the show, man. I appreciate everything that you do for hip hop, everything that you've done, and just keep on going with your platform and just what you do out here for hip hop.
Cool. I appreciate you, man. Salute.
I appreciate it. And make sure they follow you on Instagram at DJ Aktive and Twitter at DJ Aktive too.
Yeah, with a K, DJ AKTIV. Make sure you guys follow me there. You can check my website, djmusic.net. Facebook, DJ Aktive. Yeah, man. Check me out. I appreciate y'all.
We got it, man. Salute. Enjoy the rest of your night. Take care and stay safe. All right, DJ Aktive.
Peace.
Peace out, man.